Susan and I are cut off from our home world, with no friends, no family. And one day, we will go back. Yes, we shall. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's Doctor Who review is a very interesting one. Let's start at the very beginning. Susan describes the Doctor and her escape from Gallifrey as a heated chase. They go lower and lower into the city of Gallifrey, when they come across an abandoned yard in which the only things below the city are the workshops, full of machines and bits and bobs of things, and capsules. And one of these capsules is a Type 40 TARDIS. Now, of course, this wasn't the first capsule that they'd been inside of. They had been inside of another one, but after her grandfather looked in a few of them, he decided that he wanted the Type 40. This could have been, nod nod wink wink, due to Clara Oswald telling him not to go for the first one, or it could be just the fact that the grandfather knew exactly what he was looking for. Rushing for time, the Doctor, or grandfather as we know him in this story, is rushing around the console unit, flicking switches and pulling levers, and just trying to find a way to get the ship to work. Eventually they manage to take the ship off of Gallifrey and leave into outer space. Susan, to our knowledge at first in this audio, doesn't seem to have an absolute clue why her grandfather took her, why they've been running, and why they had to escape their own people. But whatever reason it was good enough that the Doctor was too afraid to stay home. After dematerializing and landing on another world, the Doctor and Susan, or grandfather and Susan, essentially find themselves on a completely new world. Susan realizes soon by looking at the scanner and looking at the charts that they've landed on the planet Earth. She remembers learning about Earth in her history lessons, but doesn't quite remember much about it, so she takes this as an opportunity to explore this alien world. But before they have the chance to, the Doctor and Susan come across a very peculiar individual who seems intent on tearing the TARDIS apart in order to have it scrapped. This individual happens to have wrenches and sonic screwdrivers and you name it, he's got it. But he doesn't like the fact that the Doctor and Susan are on the TARDIS, and he definitely doesn't like the fact that they want to go and explore the Earth. He starts getting into space gear and space suits just to walk outside because he doesn't believe the atmosphere is breathable. He keeps lecturing the Doctor throughout the whole story about morals and procedures and stuff like that, and even the fact that for some reason this individual was hiding within the ship for good reason. Upon adventuring out into the world, the Doctor and Susan come across machines that, to my knowledge, sound very familiar to the war machines. They start taking apart the TARDIS bit by bit, and doing this they accidentally take out a stabilizer, which causes the TARDIS to outflow and out-rhythm a bunch of time distortion. After the time distortion flows out, Susan finds herself in a bed in a hospital. But due to her constant memories and looking back on what life she left behind, she soon begins to recount about this not being the first time she was in her hospital bed. She remembers being very young and being taken by the Time Lords. Now, this could indeed just be initiation, what happened to the Doctor. Or this could be more. Is there a secret behind Susan? Why would the Time Lords take her? And why was she so scared about going to the academy? Maybe, just maybe, the Doctor had a secret about Susan, about how she was born. I mean, I'm just theorizing here. But maybe. After all is said and done, and after the robots are defeated, I'm not quite sure when I got to the end of the story what happens. But I know that the Doctor and Susan definitely met back up again, and they got reunited with their friend, who you could technically say was sort of a first companion, although a very reluctant one. The Doctor and Susan definitely make it very clear to this individual, though, throughout the whole audio, that they have no intention of going back to Gallifrey. This individual gets very frustrated by this, as he wants to go to Gallifrey. He wants to go home, but he knows they won't let him. Now, due to my uncertainty and me needing to re-listen to this story, I don't quite know what happens to this individual. I don't know whether he kept travelling with them for a time until they met Barbara and Ian, but I have a feeling that maybe they dumped him, and then they went on to go to Totter's Lane and pretty much use all of his tools. And for that reason, I kind of say that the Doctor is one of the greatest thieves in the galaxy. I mean, steals a TARDIS, steals a sonic screwdriver. I mean, steals the ability of all time and space travel, and possibly sort of steals his granddaughter. And for that reason, I've got to give this story a solid 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, and Alan Z, my fellow Whovians.